what the fuck are we doing here? That was the moment where I was like, we cannot continue like that.
Welcome, Valon. Thank you very, very much for being here. It's a great pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Scaling the Unscalable. So this is a very short chat between us. I would like you maybe to explain more about who you are, your entrepreneurship journey. Then I'd love to delve into more details about Dua and your journey there as well. And then we can discuss a bit more.
Sure. Thank you for having me. So my entrepreneurship journey started in 2011 when I just finished my IT education in Switzerland, in Zurich. And after that, I decided with as little as 3,000 Swiss francs to get into entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And so I came to Kosovo. I saw the opportunity for outsourcing, like many. So it was very early, 2011. Kosovo was not even a state yet. Okay. I mean, it was, but it was just in building.
Not recognized by...
But still not by many, man. It was 2008, 3 years. It was just building the government and everything. So it was very early on, infrastructure problems, internet problems, water problems, electricity problems, everything. The dream of an entrepreneur.
Everything was there, yeah.
Everything, every problem was there. And so, and then I started with, just this 3,000, and I was like, okay, outsourcing, web design, and the standard package, the usual stuff. And then we went from there into marketing and social media marketing and influencer marketing and landing page, and then lead generation, and the whole package. And then went into the call center business.
Okay.
So I had
customer service or
sales and customer service,
both.
Like you could basically hire a call agent and then whatever you need. So and then from there, that was 2011. Only in May 2012, so like the first 7-8 months, I ran out of money. So the business was not yet doing good enough. I mean, it was just started, just a few months, but I had no cash. So with 3,000, and so I asked my father. I said, "Can you help me?" And he said, "Get a job."
Not response, by the way.
And I was like, okay. So I applied at Microsoft, Oracle, HP, like the 4 or 5 big IT companies in Switzerland, and I just look which one pays the best. I was 23, and have like Packard paid like really good. Like for 23-year-olds, like they made me like 100,000 a year, which was wow. So like 8-9K a month. And so I took that offer, and then I built what is now Make Group and the call center, Kosovo call center, which I sold later with that money. So I was for 13 months from June 20, July 2013. I was full-time employed as an IT project manager at the Swiss company, and built 2 businesses with 33 employees.
That's nice.
So it was extremely hard because I was full-time. Every day that I took off was to go and sell. So I was selling on Saturdays, which the clients thought is very weird because I was full-time. I was selling on evenings. I was selling during lunchtime because back then online sales was not a big thing. 13, so I was selling in person.
Why did you do it? What was your driving factor?
I knew that I'm an entrepreneur to my blood. So I needed to find a way to make it happen. And as I didn't have the money, I ran out with this little money that I had. The other way was I needed to find a job to finance. So all the money that I made from there, I would put in the business. So I would hire people and pay them with my own payroll until the business would take off. So I did not have enough money to pay them. So that's how I started. It was extremely stressful, 13 months of 20 hours days every day, 30 months every hour. Like I was very close to burning out. But once I left the job there, I had 33 people working, and the business was making over 100,000 annual revenue. So it was like looking up at 15, 20K a month, 25, 30.
That's nice.
So it started paying itself, and I saw the potential. And then I scaled to I think 2.5 million revenue just with that one agency, the call center I sold. And that was like, and that it showed me how resilient I am. that I could do this full-time job and build 2 businesses on the side and not take.
You had no one else as a help?
No.
You did it all by yourself?
Yes. In the beginning, yes. And then later in 2014, my partners, who still are my partners, joined. They came later, Ilir and Edward, and then also others. But when I started, 2011-12, I started.
So who managed the businesses while you were working your full-time job?
That was an employee who became a partner. Astrid is his name. He's an amazing guy.
Both businesses, or they had different people?
No, different people. Then for the call center was someone else, but he did. I mean, I hired him so as a web designer, web developer, but he became the manager then in the office. He did also HR stuff, and he was like an
guy.
Yeah, I needed him, and then I gave him, I think, 10% of the business. So I made, yes. So without him, it would have not worked. So he was the key to keep while I was in Switzerland working. Who kept the team and did the work. And he was also an extremely resilient guy, very hardworking and extreme fast learner.
Okay, that's great.
Like many things that I sold in Switzerland, he had no clue how to do them, but he always found a way. He got into e-commerce and did then shops and did then search engine optimization.
Resourceful.
Extremely important. So yeah, I think God gave me this guy. Otherwise, it couldn't have worked, and then it worked. And then we scaled together, and now he's still very, very successful.
Okay, and it's still with you right now?
No, we didn't.
Split path.
Yes, because then I went with Dua and different businesses. So I was from 2012. That's now 13 years. I had started many businesses. In I think 2013, 14, I don't remember. I went to Shanghai and then to Shandong and then bought a factory for pellet production in China.
Okay.
Came to Durs and then to Kosovo. I bought a dental clinic and wanted to do dental tourism. Then all these blogs and YouTube. Yeah, you can, like ads, making money with ads, making money with this, I tried really many things like directory business, call center business, selling wine, so it was weird. One day there was like, I think one of the craziest stories in this entrepreneurship. I was in a room like this with my business partners, Edward, Ilir, and then Edward is picking up the phone. I mean, he's on a call with a client for a website to sell for 15,000 Swiss francs, which back then was like a big number.
It's still a big number for a website. Confirm that.
And he was closing the deal on the phone, and we were very excited. We're sitting behind him, and then he had a small Nokia.
Okay.
Next to him. And so he picks up and then he finished the call on German. Okay, danke, blah, blah, blah. And then is the other phone ringing and he picks it up. And then in Albanian, po? Dhambe? Pesauro? It was basically telling the one of the doctors in the dental clinic that we owned at the same time to give the €5 back to one patient who was complaining about his teeth.
That's crazy.
And then when I observed that, I was like, what the fuck are we doing here? We have a business where you're just telling about 15,000 sell a website, and we have a business where you're talking about €5 for a tooth replacement in Pristina, in Kosovo. And that was the moment where I was like, we cannot continue like that. I mean, we had also a real estate business. We had Airbnb. We bought 11 apartments, furnished them, made them really nice with home office, with everything. And we had 55 five-star reviews, 100% quote, extremely amazing, built by Ilir. But at one point I was just like, what are we doing? So many businesses, so many different things and no focus. And so there was like during the pandemic where we talked and we said, we need to cut everything. We need to cut, simplify, focus.
And you had Dua before the pandemic?
2019, pandemic. I mean, we just started employing the people in January 2020 and for Dua. And in March, when the team was full, the first engineer started in January, February, March. We just started basically the first sprint, literally the first sprint. Pandemic, quarantine, close. We were literally just in the office planning the very first sprint to code. And so the whole application from the first line of code to production was in home office.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yes. And we shipped.
Remarkable.
We shipped in 3 months, less than 100 working days from the first line of code.
Wow.
to App Store online, Google Play Store online, backend done, algorithm done, recommender done, everything.
Big was the team?
About 30 people, maybe less, 25 in the very beginning, 25, and about 10 engineers.
Okay, 10 engineers.
Yes, yeah. So I think two iOS, 200 backend people, one lead of the backend. Not too big, not too big. One QA.
That's
like 10 people.
Yeah,
not more than that.
It's a nice
They
team.
delivered in 3 months this, but I was pushing very hard. I was motivating them like crazy. I was like, if you get it done by June 2020, everybody of you gets their shares vested. Instead of waiting a year for the shares, you get them in 3 months. So I was like, yeah, and they got it. They got it. And they had yeah. So I was like, because I didn't want to lose the summer, because summer in dating is big. It's like we see now, like people come from here in Albania, from Italy, from the diaspora, from Switzerland, and they have one goal, to find the one.
Okay.
Like, I mean, that's one of the biggest goals why they come in the summer here, especially when they are single. And so I knew that, but then the airport was closed. So even that we shipped, the airport was closed. There was no summer in 2020 pandemic. You remember, there was no summer. There was no diaspora coming. It was dead.
Yeah, it opened actually, I think, in September.
Something like that, yeah. I don't recall it. Yeah. So that was the first huge challenge for Duo, to create the app, ship it in home office. And we were not used to work in home office. I mean, it was the beginning of the pandemic, not the end. So, and it's a new company. You don't know the people. You just say hi. Like, there were people who had to start on Monday and they came into the pandemic, the first workday, home office. But we shipped. And it was crazy because on the launch day, we had 27,000 people signing up the very first day.
In the launch day?
Yes, it was 22nd of June, 2020. Since then, 24/7, since then, the app was always online.
Okay.
And that always thousands of people in the app since the day of launch.
That's nice.
Like at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., from the day of launch, you had always people matching. Yeah.
So I would like maybe to bounce back on what you said earlier, because you mentioned that you were widespread in all these different business ideas. And I personally believe that's an illness of entrepreneurship, which almost entrepreneurs.
100%.
So we all love to do many different things, 100%. Like this podcast, for example, and running a business, and then maybe also valuing other ideas. But focus is so important, because you can't actually go deep into something if you're going wide.
Yes.
So my experience is you first go deep, you grow very, very well in the thing that you're doing.
Yes.
And then you can add services, you can go wider. But what we do in general, especially in the beginning, when we're not successful or the thing is not making so much money, we tend to go wide.
It comes natural because you see a shiny object.
Like AI right now.
And you want to get it, that shiny object.
To be fast.
So the reason why we entrepreneurs or anyone goes from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, is because in the beginning it looks simple.
It's like, I read your post on LinkedIn.
Like, so the people think, okay, people are making money with that design, or agency.
I'm so behind because everyone is
so or crypto or AI or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and then they start something, but that thing is no longer sexy. It's no longer shining because now it's become hard. Because once the shine goes away and you see your business for what it is, hard work, learning curve, getting deep into it, seeing that there's new layers of depth, complication, 5,000 things to hold together. Yeah. And then you realize, oh man, that's hard. And then the other thing from outside looks again easy. So I'm going there because I could not succeed here, but I will succeed there. And that's the trap. That's the trap. That's the next trap. And so then many entrepreneurs, like I did, they go from one shiny object to the next, to the next, to the next. But the trick is to stay with one long enough to get the depth, to get the quality, to get the deep understanding of your customers, of your clients, of your users. And that takes time. Absolutely. Like for me now with Dua, it's the 6th year, and I only now start to understand the dating business, the mobile app business, the dating industry in itself, what is retention, what is churn rate, what is, like, it took me 6 years. I was very delusional about how easy I thought back then. I mean, it's like when you go in an exam and you did not learn, you think it's easy. When you start learning, you see that it's hard. It's like this contradiction. And the same thing happens in business. We look at something from outside and say, I can do that. It's easy.
Yeah.
Division 5 sounds easy. I can do that. I can do it better than him. It's the ego. And then we go into it and then we see, well, it's hard. Employees, problems, clients, whatever, politics, business doesn't work, customer doesn't pay.
There are so many different problems.
And then it loses the shine. The diamond is not shining any longer. But now we see something new. And then we go to the next one, and to the next one, and to the next one. And that makes us never win, never succeed, always be in the loop for decades. You see entrepreneurs for 10, 15, 20 years, and they are always mediocre. They never break through. They never make it big. They never win in one field. And the reason is exactly that: no focus and always the next shiny object.
That's a great way to put it. So one of the reasons why I don't like product businesses very much, and we can get into that later, is the fact that many entrepreneurs like you did, and I also did, we start in the service business because that's easier to get the first customers.
100%.
You get the first customers, you deliver the service, you get the money right away. And when we start hitting scaling problems, and we can't scale anymore because then it gets tough, then you have to upgrade the whole service.
Yes.
You have to get yourself to the next level. You have to grow as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as a manager. Then you start saying, oh, but it's not working because I need a product.
Good one.
But you don't really need a product. You need to get good at what you're doing. So the product is that shiny new thing. And I'm not really it's not really working out because I don't have a product and my customers are paying for my service, which is again an excuse. And the reason why I've stuck with Division 5, and I've also had that big desire to go and build a product, and I've also tried that a couple of times, is because I want to prove to myself that, hey, this is what I want to get working. That's also why the name is Scaling the Unscalable, because service-based businesses are deemed as very unscalable by people who claim that the product is a solution. But product has its own problems, which is not less problems than a service. If you want to scale either one of them, you still have to go through the whole growth phase for you personally and then for the business. So what do you think about that?
I mean, it's interesting perspective, definitely. And I think it's very, very hard to scale the unscalable, to scale service. It's brutally hard because you have to rely on people. Maybe now less than 5-10 years ago with AI coming. Let's say maybe not now, but in 2030, we should see a lot of automation also in service. Like many things that were very hard to do, as in research, let's say, for example, search engine optimization or something, has become now very much scalable as a service. Person can do what a team of 5 could do years ago. So I think service now is easier to scale than it was 5 to 10 years ago. But I see your point that when an entrepreneur loses the willingness to scale a service company to then go to product. 100%. I mean, it makes sense. But it's also, I mean, that's one perspective and it makes sense. But the other perspective is also the product is the next logical step, in my view.
Okay.
It's like if you see the most successful businesses in the world are product. The business that you can scale the most are product. The most valuable companies in the world are product. Like you can take any of the top 10 product companies in the world and its valuation is like the 20 next service-based agencies. And we're talking about agencies with combined millions of employees.
Yeah.
And these 20 combined cannot compete with Meta, Google, Tesla, whatever. So that's why it's like, if you want to play in the Champions League, then you go into product. But it's also way, way harder. It's way, way harder. Like product, I think Steve Jobs said it. I mean, there's then also different levels of product. Like what we are building is like the entry level product.
Okay.
An app. 2 million apps in the App Store, 5 million in both stores.
Okay.
It's the entry. But if you want to build a product as in an iPhone that has the software and the hardware, Steve Jobs says it takes 5,000 things to keep connected at the same time. And if it's for that 5,000, for me, it's like 2,000 maybe, where I am at. Like,
got it.
Where you have, I mean, one thing is to ship a product, but the other thing is to have the product that also attracts customers, that pay, that has network effects, that has retention, that has, it's like, especially when you are in dating, you see that there's like 2,680 dating apps currently
It's
and
a very competitive field.
extremely competitive. 99% make no money.
And I believe that.
So for us to be, we are currently about the app number 70, 75 in the world. Yes. To get there with a team from Kosovo mostly and a bit Albania, was its challenge enough, like to compete with the big guys.
Okay.
So I see that one could lose the service as a shiny object and go then into the product as the next shiny object. 100% I agree. Probably was the same for me when I lost interest in my agency, which I still have. Make group, yes. But I think it is scalable by the mindset that I built with the product. I think once you go into product, you will be way better to scale service because you will redesign your agency, your company, your outsourcing model as the product, even that it's a service. Because it's repeatable, it's scalable, it is product led, not sales led. It's like when your agency is so good that the word of mouth functions and it attracts the new customers, you don't need sales. You don't need to get out there because you have found the key to deliver high quality. And for that to work, you need to be extremely good in systems, systemizing your team, systemizing the whole process from onboarding the customer to delivering the software, from the sprints, from everything. So while we build the product, we saw how hard it is. And then we understood why we failed in scaling the agency. I mean, we got to 100 plus customers monthly paying to 2.5 million. So we didn't fail in that sense that we failed. We didn't get to 1,000 paying customers. So 100 was still manageable with 3 co-founders or 4.
And then you need systems to scale the
And that's where we didn't have the knowledge, didn't understand really what it means to have scalable systems in the service industry. And we were too much focused on sales instead of delivering high quality.
You kind of need, I think, all of them together, to be honest. You can't just pick one or the other.
No, I now I've changed my mind.
Okay.
I had the same mind. I thought I need sales and I need high quality.
Yeah.
Now I see I need to deliver only high quality because
that brings sales.
Yes, 100%. 100%. If your customers are happy, they will tell their friends. They will tell others. They will give you reviews. The product that you sell, the service that you sell, will talk for itself. It has to be remarkable. It has to be a quality on its own. It has to be something. When it's something remarkable, when people make a remark about it, how do they make a remark about it? Because it's so good. It's so remarkable. And I never understood that. I was just like, sell the service, deliver the service. But it was not remarkable. It was okay. It was okay. But it was not remarkable. It was not good enough for the customers to go with a full heart and say, I recommend this agency to all my network. And they have a huge network. So you could easily scale if you would deliver and over-deliver amazing quality.
I fully agree.
And to do that, that's the hard part. Employees, skills, to really get a high level of quality in your service. If you find that key, that's the key to the unscalable. For me now, like if I would go back to agency and to scale, I would just deliver and over-deliver the highest possible quality to my customers and would trust that the rest will happen on itself.
I fully agree. So there is this one thing that I've had as a goal myself this year, and I wanted to control growth. And I fully agree with what you say that a great service actually brings you more customers because those customers will be friends. But you don't have control over the growth, because that's something that happens by itself. So yes, you do have a certain degree of control because you control the quality of the service that you provide, but you can't actually have something in your hand, like for example, ads in the mobile ad business, that you increase the money put into the ads, and then you know that I'll get back this return. So that's why I said you still need sales somehow, because otherwise you don't need growth.
Yeah, I thought so like you a few years ago. Well, let's say until 2 years ago. The best products in the world have no sales and have no marketing. Period. No. Zero. We have stopped advertising with Dua. Zero.
Since when?
Since this year. So we have put since the beginning of year. Yes. January was the last month where we still put some money in PPC. February we put 0. March 0, April
Okay.
0, May 0. And we're growing. Word of mouth, organic, putting all the value into product and trusting that the product is so good that people will tell their friends. Yes. So, Telegram from 0 to 1 billion monthly active users, zero marketing budget.
Well, there's a difference
Zero.
between B2C and B2B though.
I don't think so. I think, again, if you deliver the highest quality of value, this is what I'm saying. If you, and what is the truth, again, from our perspective, we had a very strong sales team.
Okay.
Very strong. Like we were selling like hell. We had 10 call agents. Like I was born in Switzerland, raised in Switzerland. I know this Swiss man. Right? Yes. So we built the agents. I taught them how I sell.
Yeah.
Like I could sell in my best month, I closed 11 customers.
Okay.
11 customers, monthly paying, 2K a month, 3K a month, 5K, up to 20,000 a month, one customer. But we could not deliver. We lost them. They churned because the growth did not come value-based. It came sales-based. And then we could not deliver on that value that we sold. And we were in that rat race of like the sales was working very well. And then the customers were complaining because we were selling so much that we could not keep up the pace to hire new people. And then you hire them and you make them stress because they are not good enough. And and if we would have done it value first, deliver, the growth would have come. Maybe not controlled like sales. I agree with that, but sustainable and long term. By now, we would have 1,000 customers. So we would have succeeded because all the focus would be, how do I deliver the quality to my customer? And not how do I sell to them? Because sales makes also then the process more expensive, makes the product more expensive, or makes the service more expensive because I need now to pay my salespeople. But that does not add value for the customer. So if I can grow only by word of mouth, because I trust that my service is so good, then I will, in the long term, win big time. I will outscale any business who focus on sales.
But do you think that you need to get to a certain leverage point where then you have so many customers that are happy, of course, and then those tell other people, and then you can scale by doubling, tripling your business? Because if you're just starting out, and I've bootstrapped the business myself, in the first 4 years, we put zero money into sales and marketing. So we've had the customers, we went up to 15 people by zero money. So I know what that feels like, but it's super slow, right? So to actually grow and scale, yes, those happy customers bring more happy customers. But again, in B2B, it's slower because it depends on how many people these customers of mine know, right? And how many they are willing to tell.
I mean, if you build in public, which I've done with my businesses partially, I built in public, the word of mouth gets out there because you build and the building in public becomes the sales itself.
Okay.
Because you tell what you're doing. You tell your services, you interview your customers, you get so
it's marketing, right?
Yes, but it is very organic. It is Elon Musk style. He goes to podcasts and everything, but doesn't put any PPC. So it is founder-led marketing where you put yourself out there because you believe in your services, and then you share on LinkedIn, on wherever, YouTube, Instagram, whatever works for you, the stories of, hey, we just delivered this project. It can start with the very first project, do an incredibly great job, and that project, people will see it and will say, oh, wow. Okay. So people are so smart. We underestimate it. They're so smart that they know exactly when something is great, good, mediocre. Shit. So they know that. So if you deliver on the highest quality, if you put your heart and soul into that service, you will be rewarded for it.
And I fully agree. But I still think you should have both. And I totally see that, yes, putting into sales.
If then just inbound. Like if I would do it again now, one inbound sales, like a really good, closes the deal, but no outreach, no call center calling, no cold outreaching, no cold mailing, no cold calling, no. I would focus really one great guy who can onboard the customers, who can sell in that sense and show really the value of the service that you do, why it is so good. Kind of this introduction calls and yes, one. Who is basically just your onboarding guy. And the rest must be word of mouth value based, my perspective.
And I fully respect that. So also knowing the tough nature of Albanian dating, because we have some taboos in dating, and I'm sure that online dating is really not a thing here, or hasn't been a thing here before Dua.
Yes. Dua came to me as an idea in 2011. And then back then I called it msitni.com, something like that.
Okay. A different name.
Yeah, it had a different, but it was just kind of a Word document and the landing page, ct.com, something like that. Yes. We say in Kosovo, city, like the one who is the matchmaker.
Okay.
Go and tell, hey, I found someone for you.
We have a different name in Albanian,
Albania.
but I'm not finding it right now.
And yeah, I said I was raised and born in Switzerland, and for me, came a moment where I was like, why don't Albanians have a platform where they can date or meet each other?
Okay.
Like, where is that platform? I see that many others have that.
But Albanians did date on Facebook, for example.
Yes, but I mean, all did date on Facebook, but did have, for example, there's a platform, jdate.com, for Jewish people.
Okay.
That was founded in 1997.
Wow.
Yes. And that was for me very inspiring. I was like, okay, yeah, they knew they want to connect. They have a similar number of people, global, like we, global diaspora, 16 million spread around the globe. They need one platform where they can meet each other, date, and create Jewish families. Why don't Albanians have that? Where is our platform? That was for me just a need that I was seeing in the Albanian diaspora in Switzerland. We are like 400,000 Albanians, 500,000 in Germany, 150,000 in UK, from Albania, from Kosovo, or something like 500,000 in the US, maybe a million. The numbers are not clear. And there was just no platform to meet. So for me, it was clear, but that was 2011. And then until 2016, then the idea became broader. I called it AlbanianFriends.com. And I competed in an event that was called Get in the Ring. You got a mic, got in the ring, and you were competing with another entrepreneur. And there was an audience. It was in TV, I think.
Like a pitching competition? Or? Yes.
And so I won the first place in Kosovo, and that was sent to Greece, to Athena, and that was very hard because there was an audience of 4 or 5 Greek people. And I came there with AlbanianFriends.com. And there was a guy I was competing, and he was from Israel. And he had some energy creation machine and shared a photo with Obama handshaking. And here come I with my Albanian.
And you're competing with that.
Yeah. And well, I won the audience vote. Okay. So the audience voted for me. There were like 150 people in the audience, but the jury voted for him. So I didn't get into the final. In the final would have been in Amsterdam and in Netherlands, and the winner got €1 million.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a huge prize.
Yes. So and that was, and there with I got then on TV. For the neck, like it was shown on TV in Kosovo, and then because they used that to make advertisement for the next, a year later, they would show me competing there for a year, like every week. It was like part of their program. I don't know why. And so I got some free marketing, and people started recognizing me on the streets in that period of time. And Albanian France grew to 100 something thousand followers on Facebook.
Wow.
And it was for me, wow. People need that. That was like kind of the thing that made it very, very clear. The validation, yes. That, okay, there is a need. And so then from 2016, didn't feel ready to do it. And I was like, there's others who do it, and somebody will do it. In the end, it's somebody has to do it. I have that strong belief that any idea that comes to us comes to many people. I'm not that special. Like I'm just another brain who got that idea, and many people got the same idea of creating an Albanian dating app. It's not like wow. So I thought somebody will do it. 2017, 18, 19, no one was doing it. I mean, they were doing it, but in the Albanian way. No one was doing it well. Like all the apps that were available for Albanians for dating were either web-based, some chats, or some really.
Some people also use Tinder, for example, here.
Yes. But these apps didn't meet the standards of Tinder, like that were developed by Albanians. So by far, I mean, like really low quality, mediocre products. And so if I give one recommendation to anyone, is like, whatever you do, create greatness. Like, and people, especially Albanians, have like this feeling that when they think the audience are other Albanians, then they lower their standard. But these Albanians, that use Dua.com today, they use TikTok, they use Instagram,
They're
they
used
use
to a
WhatsApp.
high quality.
So they use super high quality
They're used to
products.
high quality.
They are used to super high quality. And then you come with your shitty app, you have no chance. They will delete it. They destroy you. You are not worthy to be on their phone. They don't care that it's an Albanian company creating an Albanian. No, you have to create high quality. Otherwise, you lose because the big guys are your benchmark. For me, from the beginning, when we started Tinder, Bumble, Badoo, WhatsApp, Meta, these were the benchmarks. What crash rates do they have? What
It's a great mindset to have.
I was aiming for that. I was not looking at the competitors here. They were never for me the competitors. The competitors like the big guys because you're competing for time. Time is the currency. Somebody has a 1 hour screen time. I mean, most have like 8 hours probably. But let's say 1 hour. How many minutes do I get from this hour? I'm competing with TikTok. Their fucking amazing algorithm. I'm competing with WhatsApp. I'm competing with Tinder. I'm competing with all these amazing, great apps.
Okay.
And if my product does not give value, they will
be left behind.
They have no chance. You lose. And so we worked really hard from 2019 to today. We got to 1 million, more than 1 million Albanian users, which is a lot.
Because pretty high.
That's super high. Yes. I mean, you can imagine we have 10 million Albanians globally.
Okay.
Depends on estimates, 10,
maybe,
12 million. Remove the elderly and the children. You get to 5, 6 million. We have 1 in 5.
1/5 of them.
20%. The Albanians are on Dua.com.
And how many concurrent users? On average, because I know that fluctuates.
Up to 50,000 monthly active users.
Also a great number.
I mean, we got daily up to 55,000 active users. 55,000.
How many couples have you produced so far?
It's very hard to know. We know that we have created X number of matches.
Okay.
That we know, or chats. Like, we know, I think 23 it was like 900,000 active conversations. Then it was like 1 million. So over the past 5 years, I don't know right now the numbers, but it's like probably 4 or 5 million conversations.
Okay.
But we don't know
how many of those
what happened after. Did they go on a day? Yeah. But we get sent daily messages from couples, daily, every day. We have right now in production 5 love stories. We are invited this summer on a wedding of a...
On a wedding?
Yes, on a wedding.
Oh, wow.
We have one couple that married and now their child was born. They made a love story also with us. They shared it with our audience. And just right now we have our team in Switzerland recording a love story with a couple. He from Kosovo, she's from Switzerland. While he was in Switzerland traveling, used Dua.com, they matched, chatted, and now they get married this summer, and we are recording it. I mean, I did an estimate that it's over 100,000 over the past 5 years, based on benchmarks in the industry, based on like if we have the same benchmark as XYZ, based on all the matches and conversations, if out of all these conversations we have 0.5% who go on a date and start whatever form of relationship, then it would be over 100,000 people who started some sort of relationship. So we are by far the biggest kind of city that created the most Albanian couples in Albanian history. Yes, that's a crazy thing if you think. I mean, that can be only done with product.
We have a tradition that when a sketch, we call it sketch, creates a couple, then the person who has been found the partner has to give them shoes. So you should have received thousands of shoes by now.
I mean, we had couples coming to our office, bringing us flowers, bringing us chocolates, or they told us that they paid also for premium, and they literally one couple said it cost me only, I think, what was the amount, 24 Swiss francs to find the love of my life. So things like that. So, and that is for us extremely rewarding, that we are helping to keep Albanian connection alive, that we help to keep
Albanian heritage,
Albanian DNA. We have been a population that has been constantly under attack over the past 500 to 1,000 years. We don't know exactly our history, but we know from the Yugoslavian regime and the Ottoman Empire and the wars of Skanderbeg that we have been always...
Also the Roman Empire.
Also the Roman Empire.
Before that.
we have always been attacked from all sides. To that point, even when we look at the recent war in '99, where we were not allowed to speak our own language, where we were not allowed to teach our language, or we were suppressed by communism, or which was the internal enemy kind of. Whatever form it took, it suppressed our people. It suppressed our people. And so for me, it's my life mission with Dua.com to give a platform that is state of the art, to connect Albanians, to create Albanian families, to preserve Albanian DNA and Albanian heritage. And that's what it's become. I don't see it any longer as a dating app. I see it as that mission to give access to all these Albanians if they want to find an Albanian. And we should be proud of our history, of our resilience, that we are still here, now stronger than ever, with 2 states, not just one. And I mean, if you look at our history, I think not only was it completely falsified and stolen, but what really impresses me so much is our warrior DNA. Like, that is for me so powerful. You can pick any Albanian, put him into Switzerland, and you see somebody becoming Granit Xhaka, the team captain of the Swiss national football team. How? Like, there's 8 million Albanians as a minority in Switzerland. How does it manage that he becomes the captain of the Swiss national team and playing with another 5 other Albanians in the team? 50% of the team becomes Albanians because of our strong warrior DNA and resilience, because we've been traumatized, so much oppressed. And now that we got out here after communism in Kosovo, after the war, we're just like, we're hungry. We want to, we want to get, I mean, wherever you can put Albanians in any industry, even the illegal industries, they will thrive.
Which there are.
They are.
Certainly.
Yes, they are. They just take over the market.
They have as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is what fascinates me, that the more you suppress and oppress and push down and pull, the more resilient we become. It's not easy to get rid of us. We're just getting stronger back. And now it's our time has come, with getting more conscious, with helping each other. If we could just get to a level of more understanding, of more helping each other, working together, handshaking, recommending each other, we would, with our warrior DNA, where we thrive as individuals, you can put them in Africa, in the US, in Europe, and you will see them going to the top in the politics, top in sport, top in like Dua Lipa, Bebereja, all these singers who got like top of the world, but not as a team. Not as a team. Individually, in any sport, we're extremely strong. Individually, making it to the top, we're very strong, but not as a team, which we see is our illness also in politics, in Albania, in Kosovo. Not as a team, not working together. Even if there is an enemy, even if there is our neighbors infiltrating us, not even in the eye of the enemy, we keep together. Too much ego. If we could overcome that, work with each other, we would become as strong as Israel, because we have that warrior DNA. Imagine we working all together, helping each other, giving a hand, uplifting each other. We could, I mean, with all the yes. So we're totally playing on a very low level of our potential. Very, very small. Like, the potential, the upside is so high. We see it in some things happening, but we're low.
But I believe Kosovo has much more collaboration than Albania. And I also see it in different entrepreneurs, in how they thrive, in how much the Kosovo diaspora helps Kosovo.
Yes, the diaspora is very active. Very active, investing a lot, working a lot, creating a lot of businesses, but still.
And you have grown much more than us, like, honestly, in entrepreneurship, in tech, in startups. Like, Giraffa is a Kosovo-based startup, and that's like the first unicorn. Hopefully Duo will be the second one. So that shows, like, all that mindset, all that teamwork, collaboration, it has shown in the growth that Kosovo startups have had.
I don't think Giraffa is yet a unicorn.
Well, it's projected towards being. Perhaps I'm wrong in saying it.
I mean, I hope so. Mergen did a great job. I was just in the event where he invited me with Starlink, bringing Starlink to Kosovo.
Great.
So that's very, very inspiring. Definitely, Kosovo is a huge opportunity thanks to its diaspora and thanks to collaboration. But again,
it could be much more, you mean?
Way more. Like, just if our diaspora would work with our entrepreneurs, with the locals. We're talking about billions that could come to Kosovo. Just but they would also need to be conscious enough to deliver the quality that they require. A lot of money goes from our very strong diaspora to other companies and agencies, and not to.
Okay, that's weird.
That's a lot of potential. That is not.
Yeah, so I guess if you take Albania, that's like much more than Kosovo. So we suffer from that communism era. We are very cynical, so we don't trust each other. And also for a good reason as well, because we are not really helpful towards each other. So that shows in the way how we don't actually grow, because the diaspora is not helping, because we're not helping each other internally, and we're not promoting each other internally, which is really.
Do you promote someone?
Well, I've done that.
Okay.
So I've been in Pirate Summit, which is Pirate Summit is an event built by my partner, who is also an investor at Division 5. And this is one of the biggest startup conferences in Germany. And I've met investors in Central Europe who have asked about startups in Albania. And I've referenced 2 of them who I knew. And I'm not sure if that went on or not. I didn't even mention it to the startups themselves, because why? But what I had, I've done. Now, I could do much more, and I fully agree on that.
Yes.
But it's a give and take thing.
Yes.
All right.
I think somebody should just have the courage to start.
I fully agree. But there's also something else that I've realized in time, that in order for you to give without expectations, the whole give, then ask mantra, which I fully believe, by the way. But in order for you to do that without really looking back or looking into that, okay, am I getting anything out of it? Or at least, am I getting any recognition out of it? Is if you are at that certain growth level.
Yes.
And it's not economical growth.
No.
It's personal growth.
100%.
So you have to be at that level, so to give and don't really care what happens afterwards. Yes. So I'm not really sure we're there yet. Even me personally, I'm not sure if I'm there yet. So you have to be there.
I mean, it's a decision. For me, it's a decision that I made. For example, I have a relatively large LinkedIn followership of like 34,000. I mean, it's not big, but it's okay. So I have some reach with any post. And so whenever I see some Albanians succeeding, I always comment, share their post. It doesn't matter if I know them or not. I'm celebrating them, that they are winning. I see a post of you, I just like it. It gets a bit more reach. And I think comment for reach or just share it with my audience. And that's a decision. That's just a decision. And I don't expect anything from any of these people, because what does it cost me to like? Nothing. Absolutely not. But then it could bring a new customer. Then it could bring an employee. It could bring a co-founder. It could bring some value. It could bring something of growth. And why not give it? Why not give it? It's so easy if we just choose to do, and if we just make the decision. And for me, it's a decision. And will it come back in some form?
Maybe or maybe not.
Maybe or maybe not. It will. Even if not, it will. Not from them. Not from the person that you did. Yes, I believe in a bigger picture. I'm not doing it for that, but still I believe that it is. If you do good, you feel good.
Do it also for yourself.
Absolutely, yes. You feel good. It's a good energy. You attract more good stuff in your life. You just are on that frequency of giving. And I believe firmly that life is for giving.
I fully agree.
In two meanings, life is for giving and for giving. So if I forgive you for something you've done to me, that's so important. That is so liberating. And we have a lot of here not forgiving energy in Albania and Kosovo from something that happened in politics, in the war, communism, that's why we don't trust each other. So if we can start to forgive and then also see that life is for giving each other, I mean, the best way to receive love is to give love, because you embody love.
Yeah,
and then you attract love. And we just need to switch the mindset and make the decision that it's time to start giving. Suddenly you're surrounded by givers.
Yeah, I fully agree. I fully agree. It's definitely something that we have to work on. But again, I fully believe it's personal growth.
100%.
You have to get there.
You have to get there together. Otherwise you will do it for the wrong reasons.
You should not be hypocritical.
Exactly.
That's super important. If you do it just because that's the right thing to do, it has to come natural. So
100%.
that's the most complicated
Yes.
part. Otherwise, if you force it, then you'll have second thoughts.
Yes.
Like, I did it, but will they know
Exactly.
that? It doesn't really
You
matter.
sense that
It
energy.
doesn't really matter, right? Because if you do it for yourself.
Yes.
You're not doing it for them. So that's also my mindset when they asked me about startups. I didn't really like, if it went on, if it succeeded, then great.
Yeah.
If not, still fine. So what would I lose by telling him 2 startups that I believed would actually work? Nothing, right? So that's kind of the mindset. So back to Dua, because we went on and we kind of went quite wide. So is Dua free as an app?
Yes. I mean, it is a freemium model. Premium to premium.
So how do you make money?
With premium. So we have a free version of the app, and with that you get a certain number of likes. Meaning you can like someone can like you.
A limit, you mean?
Yes. It's resetted every single day.
Yeah, okay.
In the beginning, we gave like 100 likes per day or per 12 hours, and so 200 per 24 hours. And now I think it's 20 per 12 hours, so 40 per day, something like that. But the reason why we also decreased the numbers is because we've increased the quality. We have 500,000 of the users are verified by now.
Okay.
So we invested heavily in safety, in security, in verification, auto verification, verification. The next step is ID verification, to make the whole app and ecosystem way safer, especially for women. And to give them that serious dating experience, because everybody that is there is serious because they had to verify their identity.
Okay.
So if you want kind of to have this unlimited experience where you see who liked you, where you can infinitely times like people, and if they like you back, then it becomes a match, and if it becomes a match, it becomes a conversation. If it becomes a conversation, you have a chance to go on a date and then marry and eventually create another Albanian family. Then you pay for premium. And
how much is it, the premium?
It depends on age, groups.
Depends on age, okay.
Yeah, because students have kind of like a student discount. So because their need is not so big, they're like 18 years old, 19 years old.
They have time.
So we give them some discount from the actually, not a big difference, but they get some discount. And then the others have the same price. And then it depends on the location.
Okay.
So users in Albania, in Kosovo, North Macedonia, they pay a cheaper price than those in the US, in Switzerland, UK. And the reason is that the need is way bigger. So the willingness to pay in Albania goes towards zero. Also because of the possibilities, credit cards, just users not being used to pay for services like ours. But if you are surrounded by Albanians, then our app doesn't add so much value to you. So it's not so valuable. So you are not willing to pay that amount because it's like you're an Albanian student in Tirana.
Albanian.
Everywhere is full of Albanians. So you don't need us as much as an Albanian in Switzerland, in Germany, in the US. And that's where we also make our money. And that's where our premium users are, is the Albanian diaspora. And so the prices go from around 20 to around 40 euro. That's the range. Okay. And then it depends if you pay for a month, for 3 months, for 6 months, that's monthly. Then you get discounts, and we have special offers, the Taflamurit offer, this offer, where you can get even the 20 euro package for 10 euro, the 40 for 30%. So it's different pricing and different packages.
That's very, very nice. And is it only for Albanians?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
so no one else is allowed.
So we had a journey of internationalizing Dua.
Version 1?
Yes, very controversial. We had the journey to internationalize Dua. It was still a cluster. So if you went as an Albanian, you saw only Albanians, because in the Albanian cluster. And then we created multiple other clusters like Germans, Italians, French, whatever, Turkish, Moroccans. We got like 350,000 Turkish users, over 300,000 Moroccan users. So we got like over 700,000 non-Albanians in the app. But I felt it was wrong. I felt like I was betraying the mission, the original mission. I felt like the reason I started this was not to make it an international app. The name is Dua, to Dua. Dua become a ship for Albania, from Albania. So I felt like, maybe it was the next shiny object syndrome, where I was like looking for the next bigger thing. And then, it did. We could scale also in premium users, also in acquiring users. We saw that there is a market for this ethnic-based dating, where Turkish Turkish, Moroccans meet Moroccans, Albanians meet Albanians. Same as you have Southeast Asian or black dating apps or Jewish dating apps or whatever, like all kinds. So I mean, I said there's 2,600 apps and about 8,000 dating apps and websites. It's of like plus 40 plus 30 plus this whatever. And we went global. It was a 2 year journey. It was not just an experiment. And then came the day when I was like, it doesn't feel right. Also, it was very hard to scale it.
But the numbers were okay.
The numbers were okay, yes. So we got about 700,000 users into our app. The Turkish community started. We got up to, I think, 1,000 paying Turkish premium users.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was a very hard cut to remove that money. When we made the decision to kind of not take that money and go back to the Albanian, which happened only recently. We're talking about December 24, January 25, where we made the back to Albanian identity and Albanian. Yes, it's a 5 months thing. But we have another app. We have Spotted.
Yes, I think you bought that years ago.
Yes, in 2022 we bought Spotted. It was founded by 3 German entrepreneurs and an Albanian.
Okay.
Nick Mistari. Nick is an amazing guy, very successful entrepreneur, is now in e-commerce and beauty and this. And he started together with his friends in Germany, Mannheim, Spotted, this hyper-local dating app. They raised 15 million. They were very fast growing, I think at 30, 40 million valuation at one point, making millions in revenue. But from 2013, when they started, just 1 year after Tinder was, I think, 2012. So they started, basically, when I started my entrepreneur career in agency, they started to create these apps, but they could never scale it. Even though they got 5 million users, which we still have. But they could never scale it to a level that was self-sustainable, organic growth, product-led growth. It was like investors' money.
Okay,
growth.
1 second.
Okay, continue. Yes, okay, it's recorded.
Yes.
So, as I was saying about Spotted, that was probably also for Nick and the guys. They lost the passion for it at one point because it was so hard to scale. And I understand it now that I'm at that point. Like when they sold it to us, it was 7, 8 years in, which I will be soon with Dua.
Oh, wow.
So in 2 years, I will be kind of in his point. And if I don't make it to scale it at that point, let's see how I will feel about it. Because it's like, you try again, you try again, you try again. And they tried many, many things. They scaled to 1 million users in Morocco, mostly organic. Okay. With their solution of Spotted as this cross-path feature. If you cross-path with someone, it tells you.
If you're nearby, right?
Yes, not just nearby, literally crossing paths. Okay. You see someone and then it will tell
I'm very curious
cross path.
to know how they did it.
Yeah, it's with geolocation. And
because geolocation is not super exact, so you can't actually know if they're really crossing paths or not. But
they are, I mean,
maybe there are ways.
There are different ways to find it, but they would also show users to certain distance. Okay. Like 550 or 100 meters, 200 meters, still consider it a cross path. Okay. Which maybe you have not actually seen that user, but you have crossed the same location or you've been there. Long story short, they had also these notes where you could put a note. I've seen you at X place. Okay. You are this beautiful woman with a red dress, and then if she wanted to reply, she had to get the app. And so that's how they scale. Okay. Nice. With user-generated content. And so I was a big fan of Spotted. I was in contact with Nick from 2016 when I started Albanian Friends and got some advice from him how to get into it. And that I then bought his app was funny in 2022. So that was like kind of fate of, because it was very big in 2016. I was like a very small fish. With nothing, a PowerPoint presentation, and he was raising 15 million thing. And we meet again in 2022, and I acquire his company, or his assets. We didn't buy the company; we bought, just Spotted the brand, the logo, the website, the trademarks, and the application, the users and everything. And that's kind of now the second app, which will be relaunched, and with which I plan to attack the big guys. From all the learnings we're doing at Duel.com, like If we can make a sustainable, winning product with Albanian users, which is the most hard to sell to people, which are the most judging people, which shame each other for using an app, which, I mean,
So many problems.
so many problems, so many problems. And if we can create here a winning product that still works, that still sells, that still creates happy couples, then we use all that and go and attack with Spotted, the big players. And that's the plan.
So global, right?
Global, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you haven't actually given up
No.
in your
No,
internationalization.
just a second brand, yes, or second app.
Okay, that's very nice.
Yeah.
So is that, I mean, I do get the future for Spotted. So what's the future for Dua? And let's close it with this.
The future for Dua is we're going currently through a transformation in the company and in the product, which is pure product-led growth with zero marketing, inspired by Telegram and others. I think it's incredibly amazing to see a company growing with zero marketing budget, just pure organic content or product. The product itself, it's selling it. The product, people are telling it, word of mouth. So that is the first thing. And we are on a journey to scale it. So we have currently about the average of the last 5 months, about 10,000 monthly paying users, Albanians.
Okay.
And the goal is to get to 25,000, which would make it a very successful Albanian product.
It is already a very successful Albanian product.
Yes, it is. It is good. I can see that Dua.com with just the Albanian market can be scaled to 10 million to 12 million annual recurring revenue.
Okay.
With just Albanian, with just dating. So the potential is there. And I want to get that we can create a product that is so good, which we are not yet there, that the people will recommend it to their friends. They already do. We have a lot of word of mouth. I said we have no PPC ongoing, but we have right now designed a beautiful 2025 roadmap where we want to go until the end of this year. And we see where we lack quality, like in the chat experience. We see that after we get users that they match with each other and they go in our chat, they prefer them to continue the chat on WhatsApp. So while we have all this app, 300 screens, we have the chat screen, but the chat screen itself is not good enough to compete with the other chat apps. So that means if you do not increase the experience of the chat itself, then users will switch to other apps while they match on your app. They will not stay on your app. And it's so hard to identify what it is, but it just feels not so good. Like we have WebSocket, we have it's real time, but if you use it, you feel it can be better. It's not here. You need to go from here, and the other apps have it from here. So it's like this fine tuning, this little details to make it from average good to really great. Yeah. And so the goal is to create a really great product by end of this year, to get from a good product that is making good money to a great product that is making great money, that is delivering great value, that is inspiring other entrepreneurs, other Albanians to create something remarkable, something amazing, something really, really good, where you're really proud of it. It's a legacy. It's connecting 1 million Albanians, or it's whatever. And then the integration of AI, then the improving of the chat experience. We have right now changed the whole onboarding with Albanian illustrations, very beautiful, like an Albanian couple. And yes, to give it this Albanian feeling, and then with a gig and Tosk dialect. And so we're really going now into depth, and that can only happen with focus. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not focusing on Spotted. It's a future thing. I'm not working on my marketing agency. I'm fully focused only on Dua.com, and I'm declining anything else. I'm getting offers all the time. Want to work? Can you help me with this and that?
Saying no is the hardest thing.
Super hard. Like I have so many opportunities. Absolutely. And I have so many opportunities where people come. I just had one of an investor who became a friend, and he said, hey, we need 5 engineers. Can you help me? We can build a team together, maybe in your office. And I was like, thank you, but
you can pass those to us.
Yeah. Yeah. I said, I can maybe help you to find someone, but I'm not interested in kind of doing anything else. And I see the more I focus on that one business,
the better it gets.
It goes really, it gets depth. You start understanding the users. You start seeing the pain in the 1-star reviews, even if they just shame you or attack you.
So much learning potential.
Absolutely. I read the 1-star and I have to put my ego away and then read it again.
The shitty app.
What did he mean? What's the actual feedback? There is actual value. This person took the time to review my app, so that is actual value in it. Even if he was like writing it with 10 exclamation marks or whatever, it's still, there must be something, and you always find some value where he's like, that's what annoyed him. Can we fix that? Can we fix that? Can we fix that? Can we fix that? Can we fix? And then suddenly the app becomes better and better and better and better. Then we start doing user surveys. We bring the users into our office and we interview them an hour.
That was very nice.
So they use the app and they give us feedback directly. What doesn't feel good? What feels good? What is missing? So, and that's what I'm saying. That is a new level of working also for me.
I love that. That's very, very nice. Thanks a lot, Valon, for being here. I would have loved to continue this, and maybe we can at a second moment. Thanks a lot for being here, and I hope my viewers would get value from it.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Right. Have a good one.